welcome to the Four Wards Podcast. Hey, what's up? It's Eric Bra, voice of Draven, Jerks, and Vel'Koz. And you're listening to the Four Wards Podcast, here to help you move forward in League.
Hey-o! What is up, party people of the world, listening to this podcast anyways. This is the Four Wards Podcast. Nice to have everyone dropping by. I am haberdashing, joined this week by Quit Badger and me.
Hi, I'm back. I took a week hiatus.
Yeah, we all kind of, I don't know. As far as people know, the episode didn't go out any later than it normally did. We just decided to record a little bit later last time.
Yeah, I missed last week. One of my friends got shipped off to basic 2 days ago, and so we were doing like one last shebang before he left, so that's why I missed.
Oh.
Sounds like a
Feels
good reason.
bad. I mean, yeah, it's a good reason, but I'm here again.
Good to have you back, buddy.
Well,
Okay, George, shut up. You can't just say what we're all thinking.
Wow.
Speaking of, George, how you doing?
oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, no one cares.
So
See how that
Badger,
feels?
you know those Vantage rankings you were so proud of?
Yeah, I know. I'm a freaking boosted monkey advantage now.
What?
Tell me what happened there.
I got camped bottom lane like every game that we played.
All right. Nah, 2 weeks ago he was in like 17 of the top like 25 different stats,
Mm-hmm.
and then now he's in like 3.
Last time I checked, I wasn't even in any of them.
You just got pwned, man.
Mm-mm.
You can't stay
Oh, yeah,
up there
clearly.
forever.
Clearly,
Not when
Clearly,
you're out partying all
my
the
team
time.
is 6-0,
Mhm.
but you know,
Moral victory I can have.
Someone's got to get carried.
Yeah,
clearly,
a dumpster fire of an 80 carry.
I know, right?
Well, we're still happy to have you here. Thallium, how are you doing?
It's been a long week, but I'm looking forward to talking about video games and ignoring everything else.
I agree. So,
I agree.
to start off, let's make everybody mad first.
Oh gosh, what are we doing?
Normal draft is a thing of the past, or going to be a thing of the past.
Ideally. Riot posted this week that normal draft isn't that used in certain regions, so not including NA or EU or I think Brazil.
Well, specifically it's EU West, isn't it?
Yes, it is EU
Yeah.
West, not Nordic East. Normal draft is going away for certain regions, and I know it didn't exist in other regions. Like I don't think it existed in Oceania, or
Nope.
at least it didn't for a while. Maybe
No.
it went there.
Been
and
gone
now
for
it
like
left.
a year.
But they're getting rid of it to reduce the total number of queues now that they're introducing solo queue and flex queue and blind pick. So that's their goal there. And one of their lines was, in a perfect world, we get rid of normal draft for everyone, which really just set the internet, including George and myself, on fire because we got mad about it. And then if you looked at Reddit over the last 2 days, at least League of Legends specific subreddit, most of the posts on the front page are like, why are you getting rid of normal draft? Everyone loves normal draft.
I mean, that's where I played a majority of my games, to be fair.
Mhm.
That's how I
Yeah.
play a lot of mine as well.
Don't remember the last time I actually played a blind pick game out of Extra Life where we had to, just to make sure we had enough Yordle champions available.
Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I mean, if you're gonna take away a queue, why not blind?
Well,
Yeah.
so people have been saying that they can't do that because of the 10 champion rule, but I look at that and say, Riot, you can give people 10 champions. Just give
That's
them the
the thing.
450 ones.
Right.
Just give them.
Just give them
Yeah.
Annie, give them Ash, give them like
Garen and Warwick.
Garen,
Mhm.
Work. That give them that crew.
Not rise because they'll probably rework them like 3 times this season as well. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people are pointing to that as a reason they can't, but that's a
Yeah.
problem that they could fix very easily.
That is a problem that they could fix.
for sure.
So what regions is it going away for exactly?
Everywhere but Brazil, NA, and the West.
Okay.
So like
For now.
Nordic East.
LA North, sorry, Latin America North.
China, Korea.
Wait, is it going away for China or Korea? I
Pretty
never actually
sure.
got this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. At least that's what I'm assuming when they say all regions besides those 3.
Well,
So
I never know because like half of Asia's not. It's licensed out to other companies.
yeah,
So-
Tencent's different than
True.
what Riot does.
And there's
in
Garena
itself.
and
Garena,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
It gets
But what-
complicated.
One of the other reasons, like I was in particular mad about this, is because they brought in flex queues, so you can queue up as 5 again. But they're also going to bring back solo queues, which is limited to 1 and 2, and those are separate ranks, which is whatever. But they're getting rid of ranked 5s again, according to all appearances. Like I haven't seen anything about it, and they didn't mention, oh yeah, ranked 5s was going to be a queue, which again, like I've said many times, is my favorite way to play the game.
Mhm.
And like they're also putting the ranked restrictions on the flex queue, so we're back to this where we were in January. Like, all right, I guess we smurf a lot or play normals, but if they're taking away normal draft, we're left with normal blind pick if we want to play with our friends of disparate ranks,
Which
which
isn't.
is just a shit show.
Well,
Like-
isn't Flex
it-
Queue is a different MMR than solo queue? Is the thing.
But then you run into the thing where, first of all, Flex Queue is slightly based off your old rank. It's not completely new.
Right.
And then, like me, I was going to play mostly Flex Queue myself anyway, just because I'd rather have that atmosphere. Fine pick. Sorry, than Soda Queue.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but like if flex queue is it is a separate MMR, that is accurate, but like we're limiting ourselves. Like Punch is my platinum level top laner. He can't play flex queue with me and then play it by himself and like outrank the rest of the team, because otherwise we won't be able to queue up
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Which
And-
was
and
also a problem at the beginning of the season where I would play Silver 1, but my ADC plays Bronze 1, and I had to wait for him to get the Silver before I could actually try to promote to Gold.
Yeah.
I dodged 12 different promos to Gold. I just dodged them. I didn't even play them at all, just to make sure that I didn't out-promote my ADC and we could keep playing together.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's one of
one way
those
to do
things.
it.
Which is just, it tortures the system. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
not a healthy queue if we have to play shenanigans and level Smurfs just to be able to play together.
Yeah, and that's the Smurfs is a whole another discussion. But as of now, assuming our old ranks are constant, which they aren't, I can't play with my old rank 5 team in ranked.
Really.
There's actually no way to do it because I'm platinum and they're silver.
It'll be interesting to see like what actually comes out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple weeks from now there's already a Riot Please post that they make about it, and
Well,
if they're going to bring it
it's-
back or not.
It's one of those things that's important because when you look at everything they put out, ranked 5s is how they are trying to get people to play the game. But when you put restrictions on it, thanks to rank, then you're keeping people from doing it.
Right.
Like you're keeping people that want to do it. When you have people that look at the LCS and says, "Hey, I want to do that. I want to form a team of 5 people with my friends," and then
Ow.
all of a sudden they can't because one of them has the time to play the game more than the other 4.
right. And really, Flex Queue, the way it should be for Flex Queue, kind of like how it is for 5s, you can queue with people. It would just be so much easier for Riot to just bring back fives in the capacity that they had in Season 5. Like,
Right.
just bring back the teams,
It-
have the flex queue thing, have the solo queue, have all this stuff. It would just make it so much easier than having to come up with wraparounds of like, well, let's say if my Vantage team wants to play fives,
Mm-hmm.
our solos are diamonds, I'm platinum, high plat, support and jungler are both mid gold. Like the disparity between that is two leagues or rankings or whatever you're calling the split between them. So there's no way that we could queue together unless it's normal draft, which we don't think we could get Adam at practice in normal draft. So
And the other issue is that there is workaround, and you could, like you were saying, just play solo queue and leave flex for the team. But then you're still restricting yourself to playing only with that team. If you ever want to make a new team, then you run into the same problem.
yeah, at that point you're just screwed. So Riot, please.
I just you want me to play with my friends, but at the same time,
You don't.
you're making it extra difficult.
Right.
Yep.
I'm sure we could talk more about it or why we're mad or what we want to see out of it. But let's talk about a queue that is going to be coming in the next season. 3v3 solo queue. Hey, any of you guys played ranked threes?
Not in a while. I played a little bit with my brother and my friend Will, who doesn't play much anymore. He got me into the game. Those two are the big ones that got me into the game, although they don't play it nearly as much as I do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But we played like let's play 3v3. And this was so long ago. I think there was still just the one outer tower. And we played
the good
like
old days.
we ran Trundle, Scion, Zyra, and went 4-1 in placements and got like silver 3 or something like that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Although some of our games took like 60 minutes in threes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Wow.
I got full build for like 30 minutes. I don't know how this happened. We're bad, probably. That's probably why that happened. But if there's solo queue back, I'll probably play some games of threes just to check it out.
Well, it's one of those things where you have to be in the right mood to play threes, and it's kind of hard to find two other people to be in that same mood at the same time.
Unless that's like what you really like to do.
Yeah.
You can do fair.
Yeah. In
There
which
are-
case, you already had the.
Unless you think Summoner's Rift is for casuals.
Threes is a different
Casuals.
experience.
Screw
Threes
threes.
is a
I'm
fun
Dominion
time.
Yeah, and
Dominion, Rip.
main. Yeah.
I
I only
wonder-
come back to play Dominion weekend. That's it.
I'm curious, like how accurate our old episode that we did about the 3v3 map is to the current meta right now. Because I really haven't looked at threes since then. To be fair,
I'd have to know who to ask first.
How long ago was
like,
that?
there is a subreddit for 3v3s.
Sure,
Yeah,
there's
there's
a subreddit for
a Tree
everything.
Line subreddit.
Yeah,
There's probably a Dominion subreddit
that
too, but you know,
was episode like 33, something like that. Maybe earlier.
so about a year
but
ago,
So like ballpark
Yeah.
a year ago.
Ballpark.
It's probably
a year
very
ago.
different.
Probably.
maybe,
I don't know.
maybe not.
I mean, like
I don't know.
overall, is the strategy in Summoner's Rift before all this weird plant shit? Was that all that different than it was like a year ago? Over the overall strategy.
I can't even remember the last time I played a non-hexakill Twisted Tree Line game.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, this is probably like season 3 was the last time I did it.
See, I really like
Dude.
threes because like we'd have like 6 of my friends on and 5 other of my friends on, and then we just go to play like custom 3v3 maps. It got pretty competitive sometimes, but it was a lot.
We did
of fun.
that We did that at a LAN like I guess this was like 2 years ago back in season 4. We had like 6 people and we're like, well, we don't want one person to be the odd man out. Why don't we just play Twisted Tree Line? And half the people there are like, the hell is that? Like, what's...
You
That's
could have
kinda
also
sad.
done 3v3 ARAM, I think.
We could have done that too, but...
Mhm.
3v3. What is it? Ultimate Bravery.
Oh gosh, Ultimate Bravery is... Ugh.
No?
Ugh.
Wow.
Not really
Yeah.
particularly a fan.
Oh, it's so much fun. I love playing Ultimate Bravery.
I mean, also Bravery's good every once in a while, but like for Extra Life or any of the other events that we do, what was that?
What was what?
It was a cat. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was that your cat? Your cat's literally just like trolling around your apartment right
For
now.
like the past half an hour.
I've been
my
watching
cat-
it the entire time.
It's been going like totally like.
I'm trying to
batshit
avoid
crazy.
busting out laughing because he'll just like run back and forth like between the rooms.
I swear, like you'd assume that I have this bottle of like catnip spray. You seem like I just sprayed it right in her face. I don't know what the fuck is her deal right now.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think she's
So-
calming down a little bit, so that's good.
What's good?
Okay. On that note, let's move on here. So ranked is done now. It ended Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Tuesday
Tuesday
morning.
early-
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So ranked rewards started going out already. Just keep in mind that they do take a while to finally get out to you. So it may be a couple weeks, honestly, still.
Yeah. Usually they say give a week and then send in a request if you don't have it,
Mhm.
and then give them some time after that to respond to it.
Yeah. So if it's not, and usually they're really good about getting stuff out fairly quickly.
Mhm.
I imagine podcasts will come out. What is it? Probably Sunday.
Saturday or
I guess
something.
by next Saturday. So by Tuesday, if you haven't gotten your ranked rewards, that's when you should probably put in
Yeah.
a ticket with Riot, I'd
Yeah.
say. But most regions will have theirs rolled out at that point. So
Really, just make sure you complain on Twitter a lot and then post
That
on
actually-
Reddit about 4 different
It-
times.
it works.
And
And never actually send Riot a letter directly.
and make sure not to tag them in the tweet or in the Reddit post at all. Just they'll see it, they know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
no, don't
Type
tag
Vito
like
over
right.
and over
No,
again.
you tag like Riot, Katie
Skarzard.
Chaos or Skarzard or one of like the people
one
on
that
like the
designed it.
community.
I
team.
don't do anything about this.
Yeah,
They're
tag
the-
Nick Allen. He worked at Riot once upon a time, and now
Yep.
He worked at esports at Riot. Now he's at Twitch. So I feel like
Yeah,
Riot,
he's totally the
Nick
guy.
Allen can totally do something about it. So just
Um,
for real, like get in contact with Riot support. They'll probably get the issue fixed in 24 hours. They're usually really good about that.
Mhm.
I already got mine. So
Yeah,
Same dude.
pretty quick.
My
I
pleb platinum icon
Oh.
that should have been diamond, but I also didn't play like very many ranked games this season.
you played a ton, just not on your main.
I did actually. I didn't play in my main a lot this season because I was trying to have fun with the game.
I approve of that decision. That seems like a good, healthy decision.
It is. It really
And
is.
on the Forwards podcast, we promote a healthy mindset. Don't do things that make you hate everyone.
Yes, that's a terrible thing. You
He's chewing on my fucking headphone cord. God damn it, kid, it's a bad kitty. You're making this podcast.
This week on
really
Forwards
hard,
Podcast,
you know?
Haberdashing gets trolled by his cat.
And that makes a good point to move forward.
Speaking of, should we talk about Cat-arina?
Yeah, let's
I
go
was
right into
about
that.
to say something. Damn it! I
It
set that
seems
up
like
so
an
well.
excellent
God
segue.
fucking! Oh god damn it! That was really good, and I'm proud of you. I'm just sad I didn't immediately get it. That's damn.
Wait, it actually took you that long to get the.
I thought you
I
were
was-
yelling at your cat again.
No, I was just trying to make sure my cat isn't like she's like currently right behind my computer with all the cords on. Like you fucking do it. Okay, let's talk about Cat-arina. For the assassin rework.
Well,
So-
she jumps around a lot.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
blinks a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Box Player a little bit before the episode, and it gave me motion sickness. Although that was more from just his ability to click around the map and like go to mid lane and then back to where he is, and back to mid lane, back to where he is. I'm like, ooh, that's disturbing.
Well, trinket
Um,
tip. Actually, I'll do trinket tip after.
Yeah, we should
After you
probably
say
not
this.
hop around that much.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Not as much
not
as
like
Cat-arina.
Cat-arina. God damn it.
Um, the important things to know about Cat-arina. So she's got a dagger that she throws, and she can jump to the dagger and rip your face off. So don't stand next to her daggers.
Yeah.
Would
So-
be tip numero uno.
Yeah, so basically, Katarina's whole new shtick is that she throws around daggers and leaves them lying on the ground. If she steps on a dagger, she kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
she doesn't-
actually a really good like Reddit guide out there for the new Cat-arina already up, and we'll try to link that here in the show description, just because they'll do a better job of explaining all this stuff better than we
So-
have time for.
Yeah, they ended up taking her W, and basically her W is now she just throws a random dagger, or does she leave it in
It throws it right up and right back down.
Oh,
Where-
it throws
where
it.
she-
So it throws it. Okay, so in the position she's at, where she casts it, it drops a dagger,
Mhm.
and then anytime that she steps over it, it's basically her old W effect that goes off like
Except-
that spinning.
Except it does a ton more damage.
It does a lot
Than
of
you
damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
it hits like a truck.
So the main thing is her Q will now leave a dagger lying around past the first target she clicks.
350 demos.
Yep. So, and she's going to leave a dagger there, and she's going to leave a dagger where she's standing when she uses her W.
Mm.
Basically, if she ever steps on either of those daggers, she's going to kill most of the things in a pretty decent area around her. So it's okay if she steps on them, just don't be around her when she does it. The other,
Go. I like reading through this stuff. I still find it surprising that after all of this rework and everything, they're still deciding to make her scale off of both attack damage and ability power.
Riot.
Like everyone
I mean,
else,
she
like,
can still build Gunblade, I guess.
right? But I mean, like anyone else, they decided to move either one direction or the other if they're going AD or AP. But Rising, yeah, we'll just keep the double scaling in there.
Riot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Her Shunpo will actually refresh now if it goes over dagger. Not completely, but as you level it up, it refreshes more of the cooldown.
And
Until-
she actually,
Starts at 78%.
Yeah. So
which
I'm
is ridiculous.
yeah, but
Well,
at
that's-
level 1, there's
yeah.
still a like 0.5, 0.7 second cooldown. So you can't just do it immediately. There
Right.
is some
And she
downtime.
actually can choose where she lands now. Like it comes,
That's the thing,
she
it's
can
not
choose
like-
the area around the target that she wants to land in.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
instead
that
of
one's
blinking
kinda
to the
hard.
other side of where she was, like old Cat-arina did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
it-
the Shunpao, like the Shunpao, Shunpo,
Shunpao.
Shunpao chicken. Like the cooldown reduction is based on level, not on the level of the skill.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I-
levels
They
1 through
just changed
16.
that, okay, my bad. So
It also
And
resets
then
her
she
attack
can't-
timer.
she can't ward hop is the other big one
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah.
can do-
Allies, daggers, enemies, but not wards.
She's pretty intricate, so I'd advise you to watch some people play her just to get a feel of how she moves.
hmm
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to
quick tip.
shunpo to the dagger to pick it up and get the cooldown reduction. If you shunpo next to it and then walk over it, you
Mhm.
still get the reduction
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah,
shunpo.
So, quick tip. This is just a side thing I noticed, but you can use W, which launches the dagger up and back down, and then use Alt. And the dagger will fall on you while you're ulting.
That's gross.
It just seems like it would just. I don't know. I used to play a lot of Cat-arina was when I played mid, so I'm definitely gonna have to try this out at some point and
Yeah.
see how it goes because I have like no assassin mechanics whatsoever left.
It
my
was
system?
kind of fun in a custom game I was messing around earlier. I was definitely like, oh, I want to try this. Let's see what we can do. Although I'm also thinking about considering how incredibly mobile she is, you're probably not going to want to play someone with a lot of skill shots against her. So I was thinking mostly like Kale.
Yeah,
Just hit E and auto attack her, and then hope for the best.
That's definitely another strategy too.
Yep. I don't think she's most confusing to play against. I think that's still LeBlanc, but she's definitely the most confusing to play as right now.
Yeah, it'll be
That makes
interesting to
sense.
see like what shakes out. You got a month to learn too, so have fun.
I wouldn't say she's confusing to play against, but it's just like she's so goddamn mobile,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you know what you're doing with the daggers and the Shunbo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
So I would pick Kale. Who would you pick, George?
Malzahar.
Why does that not surprise me?
That's a good thought. Maybe I'll learn Malzahar also.
I mean, Malzahar will just Malzahar is good in assassin metas.
He really is.
Yeah, it's good. I'm just gonna play Quinn every game mid.
Hey, there's I don't know what to think of that, honestly.
It's
an
Hey,
idea.
there's an idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
God,
no, it was.
I didn't even have a full thought. I was just trying to think of someone who I'd actually pick in a Cat-arina.
Well, speaking of incomplete thoughts, tell us what Reddit didn't have to say this week.
But
But Reddit didn't have to
say
say
Because
this
they
week?
didn't say anything really.
Reddit was actually
Yeah.
kind of tame this week, really.
It didn't. There wasn't much until the whole normal queue thing started blowing up.
And that was like the major thing this week.
Yep.
Yeah, that and the new patch. Everyone talking
Well,
about that, but
Of course.
Everyone was busy trying to get to their goals and then being
Yep.
salty. They didn't.
we don't have time to be salty on Reddit. We have to be salty in League.
Tiny violin
Right.
every time. No,
Yeah.
so Reddit, see, the first thing we have is the scouting grounds thing, which is kind of an interesting concept. I know Schalke, the German soccer team that was the first one to pick up the esports club,
Mhm.
they ran like a mini boot camp kind of thing for
For-
10 player, I think it was either 10 to 12 players or something like that, to figure out their off-season lineup before they were heading into the Challenger Series. Which
And that makes sense because the European soccer's have a pretty solid understanding of how structures like that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar with the relegation and stuff like that. There is still like relegation pretty much in the major leagues in soccer.
Yeah. Plus, they have a lot. I feel like
a lot more
very
support
well
for,
established like
the challenger scene.
farm leagues.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause,
so they'll
like-
know what's going on with it.
Yeah.
I think a friend of mine's younger brother got recruited at like 12
Ooh, sweet.
into the program in
Dang.
Greece and was gonna go. I don't know what happened. I lost track of him, but like he's like, yeah,
Well, that was almost
my brother
interesting.
moved to Greece. My brother moved to Greece and is like in the system and might get to play professional for
Wow.
my favorite team.
Well, that's pretty cool,
Like,
actually.
oh, well, that's cool. Way to go,
Yeah.
man.
But
But
one
that's
of-
the idea where you have like you farm up, and that's what
Yeah.
the scouting ground is.
And
trying
they
to
said a
do.
lot of the teams are going to be there. Like, I think it was Immortals, Echo Fox, CLG,
Curse was there. No, sorry. Not
Liquid,
Curse. Liquid.
Curse.
Yeah, sorry. Curse.
Curse. Man, that's like that's
damn
coming
it.
up on like 2 years ago that they dropped the Curse title and became
I
Liquid.
wanna
Oh
say
no, it was more
Dignitas,
than
but
that.
Dignitas
No,
is
it
actually
was-
coming back, isn't it?
It was
Yeah.
December of 2014 because I
No
was in Columbus
way.
for. Yeah, it was
Holy
2 years
shit.
ago. Curse merged with Liquid, but that's side news. The big one out of this though that I find interesting is Tarzan. Zit trade.
Or Zane?
I don't even know. Tarzan, whatever his name is.
Tarzaned.
The number
Well,
one
it's definitely
ranked
Tarzan. He's a jungler.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, you're confusing me. But Tarzan got banned from going to scouting grounds, even though he was the top-rated jungler in solo queue.
And banned is a weird word because he's still playing the game. It's not like he got an account ban. He
Right,
just
he's
told,
just
hey,
he
you
can't
can
do
come.
scouting grounds. Like he was like a lot of people were actually interested in seeing him play in like a competitive setting because he's actually a really good jungler. I've kind of been trying to keep up on these players that are going, and he definitely has a style that can translate very well into a competitive setting. So it's kind of a shame to see it. And really, a lot of people were saying along the lines of maybe he should have been given a warning because he's still a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, and I'm interested in hearing this, is the
Ooh.
shame that he wasn't invited, or is the shame that he was behaving that badly?
It's not that it's that he's invited. I mean, if he's gonna be, if he gets chat restricted, then of course he. I don't know. That's a tough one actually. I mean, if he's being toxic like he's saying he is, then there's no reason for him to do it. But then meanwhile, you have players like Dardoch after Breaking Point came out, and you saw that side of Team Liquid where he's detrimental to it. They're still kids. Like we have to remember that they're 17-year-old to 23. Let's say
So
that
23 is ceiling.
23 is like your ceiling at that point. Like they're still young guys. They're hell. Dardoch dropped out of high school to play competitively. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's on one hand, like if you want to be like competitive, you should kind of know what's going to be expected of you. At the same time, yeah, they are kids and probably would deserve a second chance.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's
I mean, they didn't ban him from competitive. They says you can't come this time, which is
And-
basically
Right.
that is
that
his
is
warning.
a warning, sort of.
and
like,
to
It's
me
not
that
like the first season of LCS where was it Dominate? I don't know if it was Dominate. Dominate
Dominate.
had toxicity
Yeah, it was
issues.
Dominate,
Someone
yeah.
qualified for the LCS and Riot said, "No, you're fired. Go away. We don't want you.
right.
You're banned
And-
for like a year." So that was like, it's not like he Tarzan qualified and then Riot's like, "Haha, just kidding." But it was like, "You're not welcome this year."
Yeah, but he had a legitimate chance.
well, and it,
I'm not
to
saying he
me,
didn't have a legitimate chance. But I'm
Riot
saying like,
is
there's also like their degrees. I feel like looking at just the three things that were in the letter he got from Riot, those were really bad. He's like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to the scouting ground. So if you still want to fight, I'll see you there." I'm like, that's messed up. And then they
yeah,
get
I mean, like
referencing
the stuff he
lynching.
said was
It's
bad.
not like this is run of the mill, like, oh, get cancer sort of thing.
yeah.
This is
And
Run of the
Although the
mill,
fact that
get
getting-
cancer.
the
Yeah,
fact that get cancer is run of the mills is another issue.
That's,
But this was like
yeah.
super toxic as opposed to the regular toxic that we have come to know and love.
Yeah.
Right.
the other thing I think you have to remember here is that, like the Dardoch situation, for example, he's working really for Liquid. It's a Riot event, but he's in there as a capacity for Liquid.
Mhm.
This farm thing is being put on by Riot. They aren't really through any affiliation with the team.
Oh.
So,
That's a good point.
I'd say in that instance, Riot's entirely within their rights to not invite someone to represent them,
Of course.
because again, they aren't really representing a team there. So, by elimination, they're representing Riot.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
So to all of our aspiring challengers,
Don't be a
clean
dick.
up your
Don't be a
Twitter.
dick.
Don't be a dick.
It's
Mute
really
yourself.
simple. Just don't be a dick.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. A few other things this week. There was a Ask Riot thread talking about Callista, and long story short, they're looking to buff Callista as well as Azir, but they're trying to find like a level ground where their uniqueness doesn't make them overpowered and overplayed like it has in the past.
Okay, Badger. What is it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the major thing with Callista is the fact that she is so reliant upon having her oath sworn with her, because she loses significant statistics when it comes to attack speed. So even after you get your attack speed item, your Greaves and your Blade of the Ruined King and your Hurricane, you're still attacking very, very slow.
Yeah.
And her, like, I understand, like, yeah, they want to make sure that she has her niche of like, oh, if you're bound to your support needs to be with you to get full effect, and that makes sense, especially since in combat, if you're in a 1v1 situation, you basically have half the abilities that your opponent's going to have anyways, because you're not going to be able to ult, and you're not going to get your W procs, and you can throw a spooky little ghosty thingy at them, and it's just not going to do jack. So, but I think the Ren change was enough. I don't think they really needed to hit everything else, because Ren was really the tool that everybody was using to get lane control, since you were able to get the CDR back on it, and you're going to get half the mana cost back on it, which was actually really critical, because you can chuck 3 little spears to a caster minion and then start trading with your opponent, and then right as those spears are about to expire, you can cast it, get the rend, trade a little bit more, and get the double cast off. So it's just a little tweak with stats on the W, and I think she could be back in working order. I don't think she's particularly in a bad spot. It's just everybody else is better than her right now, unfortunately.
So the question I have is, looking at Azir. When Azir was good, he basically did what Syndra's doing right now. When Azir was good, he was the only mid laner that really mattered.
Right.
Not necessarily, but he forced the meta to warp around him in the mid lane. Did Kalista have that same effect when she was good?
In LCS play, yes.
For the most part, I mean, you would just pick, like, back then, like, when was meta when she was around, like,
Calista
Kalista Lucian.
I think
this
was
is the
really
beginning of.
about it.
I think this is the beginning of like Jhin coming around.
Maybe Sivir.
No, I don't know if Sivir was on her way.
Sivir was
or
just
not.
a terrible matchup into Kalista, so that's part of the reason why I don't think Sivir was around back then. Well, I mean, she probably was, but she wasn't played to the capacity that she is these days.
No, I'm just curious. Like Azir, I'm still questioning whether it's possible to have him in a good spot. Do you think it is possible to have Kalista in a good spot?
Yeah, I think I honestly think it's easier. Like looking at this, and this is my thoughts on Azir since you brought it up. Kalista needs a couple changes. Azir needs his kit reworked almost entirely, I think. So it's not to the point where he's. Yeah, well, you have to keep the soldiers because that's his niche thing, but you have to work his kit around it. And it's, I mean, I have confidence that Riot will get him in a spot where he's not OP like he was before, but he's not building little sand castles that get knocked over by tidal waves right now. So,
I mean, if I was going to complain about Azir, I would complain about Azir as a Zyra player, where like, wait, hold on a sec. So my plans are super fragile, but his soldiers are invulnerable and untargetable.
Yeah, that's a good point. So.
All right. No, it just okay. I wasn't sure about the Kalista thing.
Yeah.
I haven't really played. Actually, she was why I stopped playing ADC. So
really.
Yeah,
I
wasn't going to put up with that. No, because I hate fighting, and Kalista, with the appropriate support, makes you fight.
That's like half of AD carries will make you fight. Any good AD carry will make you fight.
Is that why you play Malzahar so much?
That's why I like it.
I just want people to fight me and then kill them.
Yeah, bottom lane has always been a little bit of a brawl lane, but when Kalista started to come out and get big, it just seemed to accelerate it by huge fact. No, I mean I was out there playing Kog'Maw.
Would you rather have if you were to switch back to AD carry right now, would you rather have like Kalista Lucian lanes where it's all in aggressive, all in all the time, or would you have boring, stale basically take a nap for lane phase and then come out 15 minutes later with an item and a half, like Sivir,
That
Caitlyn.
Considering my best ADCs have always been Kog'Maw and Tristana.
yes.
Yes.
You should really just play
man.
Jungle Yi every game. Okay, I'm going to
There
sit
you
in the
go.
jungle. I'm going to farm up my Pharaoh Flare. When you
Rip.
go back, I'm going to run up and shove your lane, and then I'm going to go back to the jungle.
Shout out
And
to season
I'll
4.
see you at 45 minutes.
If
luck,
you ever
guys.
learn anything about me, it is that I am really a boring player.
That's fair.
Yeah, what are your picks right now?
Nivea and Mouse and AP Cog.
Vivian Malzahar,
Oh, God.
EP Cog.
The
You're
AP cog gets you some.
I mean, I
it's
do
just
love
like,
AP Kog'Maw.
Yeah, I'll give you props for AP Kog'Maw.
What are you, George?
I'm a pretty butterfly.
Damn right.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, let's
We
move,
talked about that last week.
damn straight.
let's move on here. We don't have a ton of time, but 6.22 patch notes are out, and I just kind of want to roundtable this. Everyone kind of pick one thing that you find interesting about the patch notes, and for everything else, there is always the proper.
I will just go out and say the one that I said while you were leading up to this. Lethality is fucking terrible.
We're still
Okay,
still
Don't
going
hold
on
back,
about that
Badger.
one.
Tell us how you really feel.
no, like honestly, I understand why you take out early pen, your Ghostblade Duskblade Jhin, your Ghostblade Cleaver Lucian, because like you can just literally shred through anything and basically are doing 2 damage at that point. But lethality, like number tweaks would make more sense. Like it sucks early and gets better as the game goes along. It's like what is it? I don't even remember the numbers by it, but like level 9 is when it starts to scale exponentially really well.
What, lethality?
Yeah, lethality.
No, it never hits what Armor Pen was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not as good as Armor Pen ever
like,
was.
In certain aspects and stuff like this, they made it like you're getting more lethality than you would otherwise get.
But it
Armor
was
Pen.
like 2% or whatever it was. Like lethality increase over time per level until like level 9, and then it's like a 4% increase per level or something like that. It doubles or something, but it still is never gonna be Armor Pen, which
well, like
I mean, it is at level 18 or so.
yeah, like level
Well,
18,
Well,
it's
at level 18, like point for point, it'd be the same as Armor Pen, but most of the items have more lethality than they did Armor Pen. I thought was the idea.
yeah. So
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I just want to go back to season 4. Everybody was just having a good time. No plants, no random RNG drakes,
No hard math.
no hard math. Yes, just do a lot of damage. Just build your Infinity Edge, your Phantom Dancer, and then your Bloodthirster, and everything will be fine if you're an 80 carry. But it's too much.
Well, that segues into mine. I was gonna say plants.
okay.
I got into a custom game and I ran around looking at all the plants, and I feel like they're way less RNG than I anticipated. Mostly because like when you stand next to, let's say, the Blast Cone, the one that blows everyone away, you stand next to it. There is a very clear target reticle of where you're going if you hit it, and you can run around in a little circle and see like, okay, I can watch that target reticle go around. So if I want to get over the wall into the Baron Pit using this Blast Cone, it's actually pretty hard to fuck this up. So that was like, oh, that seems almost reasonable. The same thing with the Vision plant, where you can angle yourself and it'll show you the big pathway. Like, we're going to reveal stuff in this area. So I think it's more user-friendly than I was anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it won't be a giant steaming pile of bullshit.
They did tweak it plenty, so it wasn't as random in its spawns location. So it'll be interesting to see like where we end up with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see what I got. Oh, right! Abyssal Scepter!
Oh, let's not spend an hour on this.
Okay. Basically, you can build magic resist against Abyssal Scepter now. The end.
Yay!
So,
And it's actually decent. So
mhm.
people who go to Abyssal Scepter first now actually have a little bit of itemization counterplay. In short, new passive, instead of reducing MR around it, it just deals increased magic damage. Which
Okay.
means that you can actually buy magic resist, and that will still cut down a larger percentage. The end. Good change.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Defensive
Thinking-
items shouldn't have offensive powers that neglect other defensive items.
Mhm.
Sorry, not neglect. That bypass other defensive items.
Okay. I guess it's not really a big change, but one thing I found interesting from this stuff is that attacking wards no longer procs lifesteal or omnivamp effects. I looked like, why is that?
I was so sad by
Just
that.
seriously, now we're doing this. Like, it's
Might as well
taken
just
how
kept
many
it in the
seasons?
game.
Yeah. At this point, just keep it
Yeah,
in
I feel
there.
like what just that's
Like,
If we're taking
What-
that out, can we at least like have you like get the like particle effect, or at least like a little smiley face pops out when you're killing a ward, or
Like-
something.
what does having it in there actually hurt?
The reason they said like because control wards no longer nullifying stealth, wards are no longer considered in combat for interactions, so their health is no longer like actual
What?
health. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those weird
Riot.
spaghetti code things.
riot.
Shit.
All right,
Okay.
that's all we need to know. Let's.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that. Couple more things. For,
What?
No. I'm moving on here. Trinket tip.
all right.
It's a
That
quick-
wasn't delayed audio. I was just flabbergasted for so long.
Yeah. This one pulled from our subreddit here, and it's just a quick tip. We may have been wrong on this as well, but normal MMR does not affect your ranked MMR at all. If you're going into ranked for the first time, it's only going to consider your placement matches.
Yeah.
Story time. A friend of mine, my support for ranked fives, hit gold this season. Congrats, Matt. Had barely ever plays normals, such that he queued up for one the other day, and on his team were two people who weren't even level 30.
Wow. Huh. I mean, it may have been like they were in a party with people, but
Probably a little bit, but that does just tell you how garbage his normal MMR is. Though.
yeah. True.
Speaking of dumpster fires.
So,
Speaking of that,
we don't what? Not speaking of dumpster fires.
That's his normal MMR is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, like I thought you were making a segue to the next thing.
no.
No.
Oh, that would be
we're not.
rude.
Okay, no. So
Speaking
we
of
don't.
dumpster fire extinguishers,
Hey.
Yeah. So we don't have an audio segment to go with this episode this week. Instead, what you can do, we have our first video piece up on our YouTube channel. So go ahead, check that out. Sith Lord and Doom are doing a piece about warding. It's obviously something we talk about a lot on the show, but being able to actually see it definitely helps a lot too. And if you're wanting to know more on warding, we don't have one. I went back because when they were first making the episode, I'm like, there's got to be one episode we like specifically talked about warding, but turns out there's not. It's just strewn in basically every episode. There's always something
half
about
of
warding.
12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the closest would be the interview we did for the artist support. Good stuff in there, but yeah, check out the video. There'll be more to come. So I think we got it some time for questions here. We can get through one or two.
Which, before we go over questions, I think we mentioned it the last couple episodes, but we are starting to run bear on questions. So if you have anything that you want us to talk about, We will gladly accept all and any questions league related. Please, that would be better. I know life
League
advice
related
would
is
be
good.
great from us guys, but
Hey, my life's together.
Is it though?
1 out of
Is
4
it?
is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
right
he doesn't
there.
have a cat running around chewing on his headphone wires, so
Yeah.
No, I just have a toddler who occasionally comes up and hits the power button mid-game.
And choose on your wires. Hey, kids do
Alright.
that too. But, anyways, first question. Hey, George, you want to read it?
Oh yeah, okay. So this is from Tishamek, I believe.
Tishamek.
Tishamek, sorry.
Pronounced Tishamek.
Oops. I'm bad with phonetics. Anyway.
I mean, you provided it in the question. Come on.
My summoner name is Tishamek. Started listening to your show this last January after the community podcast showcased the network. Yeah, there we go. Last year I was a jungle top player that preferenced fewer Mordekaiser and Aatrox, so that was before the rework. Post Worlds 2015, so after the changes, and stiff swinging of the nerf bat, I consistently found myself as the last choice in my ranked games. And this was the old rank system, he says.
Mm-hmm.
So he was always last pick, and have had all his favorite champions change, nerf, and combination. He became a support main. Yay, we need more of those. Now I love support. It is so much fun, but I have fallen from Silver 5 to Bronze 5. That's okay, since support is unlike any other role. I realize I have to learn. Question is, with all the support items offering great utility, is it better to prioritize those over traditional tank items? And this is talking about tanky supports, like Leona, Lulu, Thresh, Brahma, Ali.
Lulu.
Majority of...
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Okay.
I'm glad somebody else picked up on it.
Yeah.
I'm the only tank, seeing as how low level tops and jungles tend to prioritize carries. Okay, yeah. So basically, tanky supports. How
Build
do you
tank or
prioritize
build
tanky items, or do you
utility?
prioritize utility items?
Tank. As a general tank. Like, obviously still Sightstone, and maybe consider going something like Face of the Mountain.
Well,
I think Eye of the Watchers.
I mean,
now that
it's-
Aegis is out,
it's right.
now that Aegis is out of the game, you actually have a choice.
Well, there's other items they're adding in too, but in general, like you're gonna go ahead, Thallium.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's some overlap there. Also, like, you have to be careful about which tank items you're getting, because like, I wouldn't get a Sunfire Cape on any of those people.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
that's a
go
good
like
point.
armor and health, there's Randuin's, there's
Frozen Heart, if you need the.
Dead
Frozen
Man's
Heart's
Plate.
a good one.
And also, this wasn't really part of your question as like a question part, but you tend to play engage or disengage or pick team fight. A lot of the champions you listed are better at like specifically peeling late game. If you're in a game where a lot of people just want to like overcommit and dive your ADC, you can just stand next to them and like hit him with a Leona Q or hit him with an Alistar Pulverize. I think that would be your optimal play style late game.
Yeah,
And yeah, you do need some cooldown reduction and some tank to like absorb damage there. Things with lots of health and then a little bit of resistance here and there, as long as it doesn't like incapacitate you. But there are new items for that escape my memory.
Have any of you? Do any of you have any ideas on the new redemption thing?
I mean, that's
The one
gonna
that
be more
casts while dead.
like
Okay.
Soraka
Yeah.
healer is.
Okay. No, I wasn't sure because. So, to me, a tanky support's utility comes more from their kit, while things like Soraka, Persona need those items to do things, because heals and shields are based off of your AP and stuff, and need the utility items to do it because they all increase heals and shields. Whereas if you're Braum, you your kits and passives just do the work by themselves. You just need to stay alive long enough to get those on people.
Doesn't one of Brahm's
Well,
things scale off health?
Yeah, but it's less important than the stun being there.
right. But I mean, either way, people, especially like Leona, Braum, and Alistair, really do well in like that off tank role where they are played in the support position, but as the game progresses, they do become that off tank, and especially playing in lower elo, if you're not getting a tanky top laner, it will become kind of important to be that front line that'll be there to soak up the damage. So
because that means their team probably won't have one either, and their team will be dive and give.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. I know, like Thalion brought up whether it's a good idea to be the one to engage or the one to peel, and that'll be, depending on what your win conditions are. But I think building tanky is a good idea as long as you're building tanky for the team and not for yourself. Still, like aura items are always good, like the Frozen Heart. There's always a pretty good pickup on support still, like the tanky supports.
And he does say he tries to prioritize engage, disengage champs because mobility is low.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what utility items they're thinking about. Were they thinking about like?
I would guess like Mikhail's.
Mikhail's. Things like that.
Yeah.
Zeke's, Mikhail's, I guess.
Does Zeke's actually get picked up much?
Yeah.
Not as often
Not
as it did
as
when
much.
it first came out, but yeah, it still gets picked up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really pay attention to.
You don't want 20%.
I think it more depends
power?
upon. I mean, I guess the thing about Zeke's, it just depends on which 80 carry you're running, because that's one of the things we like to talk about. Is if we're playing for Vantage, if we're playing like Caitlyn, we don't get it because I end up with 100% crit through items anyways, depending on how late the game goes. By the time.
The big change with like items, especially like the Zeal items in the last season.
Oh, there's so much crit that can get picked up on 80 carries.
Crit, not like the prior season. So yeah, like once you're going over 50% crit, it doesn't become as efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Yeah, I was just curious. And yeah, so I didn't have anything else in that.
No, that's I think good.
That's all that needs to be said, I guess.
I think we can do this next one.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go for it, Thalium?
This is from Ice Cream Emocon. Hi, everyone. I started playing League this summer, and I just started listening to the podcast a few weeks ago. As a solo queue jungler starting out, a lot of your recent episodes have been extremely helpful with the advice you've given in response to listener questions. I was placed in Silver 3 in August and credit advice from your podcast for why I was able to go on a serious win streak that took me to Silver 2 weeks ago. Wow. However... oh, what? Was that the cat?
No, that was... Shut up.
I was thrown off. I'm sorry. Anyway, however, once I was there, I only won one game before being demoted back to Silver 3. After that, I decided to play a lot of normals and only try ranked games when I felt like I'd be doing well in norms. I find myself going on long win streaks in normals, then go to ranked and losing games, and then losing a game, then going back to winning at normals, then back to losing at ranked, and so on. It's very discouraging, especially since yesterday I was demoted to Silver 4. I don't think I was placed too high since I was able to get promoted to Silver 2 once already, but I do know it's a possibility. Mostly, though, I feel like I'm not learning when I'm playing normals because all my recent victories have felt easy, but that has not at all translated to success in ranked. I'm considering only playing normals when learning the mechanics of a champion and playing ranked at all other times because I feel like that's where I'll learn the most, even if it means possibly further demotion. Any advice or thoughts you might have would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, Ice Cream Moon. He does have a PS. I think he followed up with a second email. Following up, I looked up my MMR, and it turns out my normal MMR is Bronze 1, which explains why my matches are so much easier. I think my question still stands, though. Is it worth the time raising my norms MMR and not learning much in the meantime, or just playing ranked so I maximize learning?
Ranked.
Ooh.
I feel like George's attitude towards ranked and his general attitude towards League would speak to Ice Cream and Mocon.
Yeah, that's basically So
If you'd like to reiterate your philosophy.
So for me, I play to improve myself, not necessarily to improve my rank, which leads me into a pattern where I start using ranked for experimentation and then fall 3 or 4 divisions until I get stable enough to climb back up with whatever I'm experimenting with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really play normals, and that's mostly because for me, normals are more unfair and unstable than ranked. Just because the matchmaking is more consistent. In normal games, you have a range of up to 5 divisions. Like, I've had diamonds against unleveled people. Granted, they were probably Smurfs, but hard to tell. In ranked, you have a consistent environment, which makes it a lot easier to improve on a specific thing if you're trying to. Also, for me, I've played all the champions, so until a new champion comes out, there's not really much base mechanics I have to work on.
Well, like, say if you wanted to take like a champion that you haven't played much of into the mid lane, would you just go right into ranked?
Yeah. I mean, so there's a few I wouldn't, like, say Ivern, I haven't played enough. I barely know what he does.
Right, but like
that's a great idea.
What about something like you wanted to start playing like Cho'Gath mid? You wanted to pick that up and make that a thing.
Like, I'd probably spend 2 games on normals, then I'd just go start playing ranked.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's just a more stable environment. And if I didn't do that, I'd probably be Plat 2 or Plat 1 right now. But I consider the learning more valuable, and ranked is just more fun to me that way. So,
pretty much.
Yeah. If you want to learn to climb, you have to do it in an area where you can climb. I mean,
I understand it's discouraging at times.
Yeah.
I would say things like I've noticed that I play way worse if I just queue up immediately between games. So I would, if you play a couple normals, you win, you feeling good. Sometimes you'll queue up immediately into ranked and then get crushed because you're overconfident, or you think I flash back and like, oh yeah, I totally got this. No, wait, I'm level 3. Never mind. I'm not fed this game. This is a completely new game.
Right.
Maybe that's a personal problem, so that's something you can work with.
And more than anything, don't ask, am I a higher rank than I was 3 days ago? Ask yourself, can I do shit I couldn't do 3 days ago?
Yeah, good point.
Like, as long as you can say, hey, I can do something new, then you're getting better.
And if you actually only just started this summer and you're silver,
good
kudos.
Yeah,
that's actually really abnormal.
Yeah,
well done.
So
for sure,
what's it like? The breaking point for 50% is like silver 5, silver 4,
something like
that.
Don't know.
I thought it was higher. I thought it was
no idea.
silver 3. Not entirely sure.
I don't think it's
though.
that high because like gold 5 is top 25%.
Yeah, because high gold is like
I don't think 25% of the player base is silver 3 to silver 1.
No idea. Oh, anyway, you're doing great, basically.
Yeah,
on a good path.
It's
for sure.
Yeah, and on the opposite side of that, when you do lose games, make sure you're not just jumping right back into the queue to take a couple minutes. Either go back to the game. Yeah, like I used to have like a rule, like if I'm playing ranked, if I lose more than 3 in a row, I'm done for ranked for quite a while. Like sometimes the rest of the day. It's just like it's not worth it. You either consciously or unconsciously can go on tilt pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like the last night ranked was up, I said, I'm going to play until I lose 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
How many games was that?
And wherever I am, I stop. I got
3
in,
games.
I think. Come on. Nah, I got to like 6, which was enough to get me into the next division. But yeah,
that's good.
I played the last night. Bronze Logic was going for silver. We missed it.
Ow. Damn.
We got.
You guys were 2-2, weren't you?
You were in the promos.
You
We were
should
the
have called
promos.
in the ringer support. I would
This
have.
was the first time we actually had to promo. In previous seasons, we get to 100 LP and bronze 1. They're like, yo, just go to silver. It's
Yeah.
fine. And then we got it this season, like, promo series? What is this bullshit?
You want to know why he didn't go to silver?
Why?
Because he didn't play top lane Lucian, stupid.
Hey.
No, we pulled out our pocket pick Jungle Teemo, and it didn't work out for once.
Wait, you guys lost the Jungle Teemo? What?
Jungle Teemo 6-1.
6-1 now?
Yeah.
No way.
That's-
You guys actually. That's silly.
All right. Well,
We also didn't play top
Well,
lane Lucian.
well,
We
now
have-
now
that's
I
your
know what's
problem.
banning against you in your next scrims.
Top lane
Uh,
Lucian.
it's been a fun
Badger
episode.
approved, by the way. Badger approved.
It's been a fun episode, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been the Forward Podcast. Have fun in the preseason, and good night.
Bye.
I